Hello, money makers. Emma and I thought we would pull back the curtain a little bit, give you a BTS look, because
Because
essentially
we're not fucking gatekeepers.
No,
I'm not gonna
I
make
mean-
you pay for access to shit that should make sense.
yeah, it's just like if we're doing it and we're learning along with you, you're gonna be right here with us. Now we're gonna make you pay for the stuff where we're 5 steps ahead.
We're
That
gonna
makes
make you pay for the stuff where we're 5 steps ahead, and we are like
We know what we're doing.
supporting you in changing things and giving you things that are going to make your business better. But we are not going to charge you for the stuff that like
We're learning too.
we're in the process of learning and perfecting, and we know that
Yeah.
other people can. Now, part of this, like, you're kind of just going to hear about what we're doing for clients, and that might appeal to you, but we're also applying what we do for clients to ourselves. Well, clients.
I'm so
I have no
excited.
jack shit about this.
They're probably like, Emma, Chloe, you guys are being so vague. I'll tell you what the fuck we're doing in this episode. So Emma and I are at the point where we are ready to pitch brand collabs for our various pages, for the podcast, for Right Hand Glam, for my own
And I think something good to add here is we are presenting ourselves as having 3 pages. So
Yes.
we are saying, hey, we will do a brand collab for you on our podcast in the form of a formal podcast ad, posts on our pages, and posts on the Yes Make Money page. So they're going to get access to
so many
7,000 people on Instagram, and
Yeah.
I don't know the stats on our listeners because I don't listen to our podcast. Chloe does. So
I don't let Emma see those stats, so that way
we
she
don't
can
need, Emma doesn't need to see those. So it's a lot of fucking people, and
No.
we're really excited about it.
Yeah, and like what brought us to this point is obviously we're all here to make a little bit of money. And you might be thinking, well, like, yeah, brand collabs, but aren't those only for influencers? Aren't those only for people, you know, with thousands and thousands and thousands of followers? No, they're not. We can do brand collabs, even like if you have 300 dedicated followers,
You can do a
that's
brand
better
collab.
than 3 million people that don't give a shit about you. So you can do a brand collab at any level as long as it's mutually beneficial between you and the brand. So what we're looking at today is essentially applying, we already know the process of pitching, but also who the fuck should we be pitching to?
Right.
We know how to do this for our clients, but it's like, you know how it is. The minute you have to do what you do for others, for yourself, your brain shuts down and it like goes melty. So I thought that it'd be a really good, like, this is holding us accountable. This is making sure our brains are turned on because we're like, the money makers are going to hear this. We have to like turn the brain on and go full blast. So you're essentially getting a peek into one of our meetings right now. I'm excited. Truly pulling back the curtain on this one.
And
So-
when we say meetings, we mean our text messages. Because here's the deal. Chloe and I, as we talked about in our last episode, we have boundaries. But we're also the type of people, and I believe we mentioned this in the last episode, where Chloe and I, we are the type of people that if we don't say it or write it down, we will forget about it. So I will text Chloe and I'll be like, did you think about this? Or did you do this? And I don't care if she doesn't answer me till Monday. I don't care if she completely changes the goddamn subject. And then like text me on Monday and being like, I noted what you said and I just didn't feel like answering in the moment. So she introduced this idea to me on Friday. And not that, but like we'd been talking about it on and off. But
yeah,
like,
well, we were on the
like,
phone.
you
It
know,
was very
here's what we're gonna do.
lackadaisical.
Right. And I, on Saturday, was like, oh, did you think about this brand? And she was like, bitch, I'm already ahead of you. And I was like, okay, great. And it was just like in that moment, because I was using something from a brand that we really like and we really want to partner with, I was like, oh, let me just ask her really quick. But like, it's just like our client expectations, where if it's on an off time, I don't expect a client to respond. The client doesn't oh my God, why can't I talk? The client doesn't expect me to respond, and I don't respect, oh my God, I
expect. Deep breath, everybody.
I have not finished my coffee. I'm only halfway.
All right, money makers, we're gonna have a little pause. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out.
Thanks, Mom.
We all needed that. I needed that too. We record these, by the way, on Monday, like midday morning. So that's why we're either like cracked out, I feel like sometimes, or we're just like Sunday scaries, just a little bit still.
Yeah,
We're
just
like,
a little bit. But really, this is the only thing that we have on Mondays. Like, we don't really take calls on Mondays. So it's nice that we can spend our social battery energy on that. Like, I have therapy later, but that's a whole different topic. So
I use all my Monday energy is for these calls and these recordings on
only.
purpose.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited because what I'm gonna do essentially is doing what I do for influencers and like what we've done, or like if like a friend, I don't know what it is. I'm sure all service providers out there can understand if you've got a friend and they're like, oh, you're a website designer, you should design my website for free. And you're like, doesn't
No.
I thought friends pay full price and tip better, but that's a different discussion. But they like to use me a lot on, oh, should I pitch to so and so? Do you think that's a good one? I love my friends. They buy me shots, and that's my payment. But what we're gonna do today is
I like
essentially
that.
go through. I get
like that
paid
system.
in drinks. I'm happy with that. We're gonna go through. I think there's 3 buckets that apply to us and apply to the moneymakers as well. So from now on, I think I'm gonna stop talking like moneymakery, and I've got to like zone in on me and you, Emma.
Okay.
Okay, ready for this?
Hit me.
We're gonna got this. So I think that we could split it up into biz things, entrepreneury life, and then like fun stuff.
Okay.
And so I would like to start on biz things because I was going through like things. So I'm thinking like brands that we could pitch to or things that we could pitch to that we use for business. So I'm thinking in this bucket is subscriptions, apps, anything that we currently kind of use as a write-off, or, things that really assist us business wise that isn't like, oh, well, I love having my coffee in the morning. That helps my business. It's like actual tech things. So obviously, I think like ClickUp and stuff, but what other would you say like subscriptions or stuff that you have as a business owner?
Yes. So things we use every single day.
Yeah.
ClickUp, G Suite, which none of us would ever get a partnership for.
You never know. You never know.
Okay, fine. You never know. Probably.
I know, but
So-
yeah, we're not limiting. So like everything.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just roll it off then. So every day, ClickUp, G Suite, Calendly, Vimeo, Flowdesk, Thrivecart,
Ooh.
Slack,
Yes.
Canva,
Mm.
big one. Can't survive without Canva. And I have been using with not for me, like not for our clients, but I have been using both Geneva and Milanote, I believe it's called, for projects that I work on for other clients.
Yes.
And then Circle is another one that I am on for other clients. And then ManyChats, ManyChats. I want to say it's ManyChats. Some of our clients use that.
Is that one of the messaging apps?
That is one of the automated messaging apps. So if someone was like, comment this word, they'll then get a DM for commenting that word.
By the way, whatever that like little service is, we've got to do a weekly crash on that, because mind blown that technology like this exists and we need to use it more. And I think our moneymakers deserve.
I think also to discuss the pros and cons of it. Because we have a client that uses it and I see a lot of pros and it supports the work that I do, but I also have spent time recognizing the cons of it. And I'm able to communicate that to the client for us to continue experimenting with it, or, leverage other things on the platform that might work better.
I mean, you know me, how I feel about all apps, all everything, all AI. It's supplemental.
Oh, we use ChatGPT.
It's supplemental, not the whole, like, you gotta have a human.
I mean, it's just good to know, And then, what does Whitney use to edit videos?
I know, so like stuff that I'm using, I love CapCut. I love Descript. I use a lot for transcribing our episodes, and like it's really easy to edit on there. I'm trying to think of everything else that Loom. I've used Loom.
Oh, Loom. I also use Pink Papaya, which is the Birds Papayas app. I also use,
Yeah, let's look
I
at
don't
our
use it
phones.
as
What
much.
apps do we use?
I don't use it as much, but Voxer.
Yes.
I don't use it for me, but Milkshake
Ooh, I use
or
like
some
Linktree.
stuff.
Milkshake. So I think we're good here. So now all of these might seem like, we're like, oh, well, like you said, well, how would we ever get that? They have millions and millions of followers, millions of users. Why would they pick us? Well, as we always talk about, and this is Emma, you know your brain is about to go on this. I know your brain's about to go on this. We are now going to kind of apply what we always talk about with, like, we have a service where people that are looking to book UGC, looking to book collabs, they want someone to go out and pitch for them in the DM so that they can take over the email. Or we could take over the email. Guys, we might do that too. I'm just saying. A little pitch in the middle of all of this. Got to do it a little bit. But I would love, Emma, talk us through how you think we should these are like the top tier. Now let's start to kind of narrow down and let's think about, well, what are, ways that we could pitch these things where it's not ClickUp, but it might be a service with ClickUp. Do we think that, because this is a little bit harder, we're really thinking out loud right now. Do we think that there is, like, of all the ones we noted, ones that we both use were so die hard, we could soapbox on it, that if we got a collab with them, because likely if they're going to book with us, they're going to say we want a shit ton of content from you.
Right.
What do you think? I mean, I swear, like, honestly, if we pitched a ClickUp, we could say, literally, you'll get a post every single day.
So I would say that our biggest thing is ClickUp, because one, we are like a ClickUp. ClickUp gives out like a recognition thing that, like, when you've used it so much. So, and we have that. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but we have it.
See, we have,
but I don't know what it's called. I'd have to look it up. So I would say ClickUp.
ClickUp, Emma.
And here's the other thing about ClickUp. Wow, we really should pitch the ClickUp. I'm such a dumb. So, for the Engagement Academy, for alums, there is a resource shop. And I just recently did a training on ClickUp.
And blew their minds, didn't it?
Yeah. And then on top of it, we are about to launch a new offer that includes ClickUp setup. So maybe we should pitch to ClickUp.
I'm telling you, this is what I'm saying. Okay, money makers, this is what I'm saying. You might think, like, no way. But whenever, like, we are the people that use this shit every single
also
day.
Think of it this way too, and sometimes I'm like, it's like when you're somewhere and you hear the Slack notification and you're like, I forget if I was on the New York City subway or if I was on the tube in London. It was one of the two, and I felt so attacked because there were ClickUp ads on the train.
You remember whenever this was like OG, yes, they make money, like when we first started the page? I remember I just went on a trip and everywhere I went, I would see a ClickUp ad and I was like, it's following me. I can't take a day off.
It's everywhere.
So that's what I'm saying, guys. If ClickUp is willing to buy billboards.
Wait, Chloe, we need to pitch to ClickUp. We are a ClickUp verified power user, which means basically you're really good at ClickUp. We call people at your level power users, which means you outrank the majority of ClickUp users in terms of platform usage.
That's what I'm saying. Now, you might think, like, okay, well, I'm not that big on ClickUp. Go pick whatever the fuck you use. If you're a Mondayer, if you're a,
Notion, Dubsado, Airtable.
You never know.
Okay, so we need to pitch the ClickUp. So I'm going to send you, after we get off, I'm going to send you, Audrey, you have the ClickUp login. So just go to the profile and it says it right there.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab all of that.
But see how crazy that is to think about? Like, let's break that down for a second. I wrote us off because I was like, oh, ClickUp's such a big brand. And like, not that for all intents and purposes, we're not that big, but we do have a very engaged audience and community.
Our people are ride or dies.
Right. And if you communicate that correctly to a brand, they're going to get it. But to then be like, oh, we're also ClickUp verified power users and we teach ClickUp to our 100+ students. And we're about to launch another offer where we do ClickUp setups. That then becomes very appealing to ClickUp.
We literally mention ClickUp at least 3 times a week, even off of the podcast. This is what I'm saying, guys. Like, pick something that you can soapbox about. Pick something that you can talk all day. I fucking ride or die for Canva. It makes sense that we could pitch to Canva and say we use this all the time. They can just say no.
Like, literally the worst
Darn.
any brand could do is say no. So if you are holding yourself back from pitching to a brand, like, just restructure your mindset. Expect nothing. Expect them to say no. But if you word it the right way, hello, ChatGPT can help you here.
Yes.
You don't know what could be waiting for you. And if you go in and you think critically about these things, like, I didn't put 2 and 2 together that we actually have so much to offer ClickUp because of how we run our business and how we teach people what to do, what we do. So
it's crazy. I think that's what it is. It's not enough time because we think like, oh, well, I use stuff all the day, but how can I make money off it? You use it all the time. And you're posting on your stories all the time.
Yep.
Try it out.
Yep.
Oh, all right, you ready to move on to like more fun stuff? Because this is the easier stuff for us to pitch.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Okay, so I'm thinking like we're going into the bucket of entrepreneur life. So I'm thinking like things that add to like I hate boss bitch, but I don't know how to not use boss bitch anymore. Like, what are we using in place of? But like, what's gonna add? Like, what is the typical thing a boss bitch has? She has her cup. She's got her coffee. She's got this. Like, what are things that we use every day that kind of like add to your entrepreneurial life?
Who?
Like us. You think about what you woke. Okay, so I got up this morning. Looking at my desk. Look around your desk. Things that you use that are entrepreneurial. I mean, obviously, like notebooks, papers, stuff like that. And that's a very broad category, and we can pitch a lot in there.
We can indeed. I would say one thing that I use a lot is my ring light.
Yes.
My standing desk, obviously.
Yes.
Tripod, podcast mic, which is funny because I've actually never used it. It just sits on my desk.
I need to get you the little adapter.
I have it. I bought the adapter. I just don't use it. My blue light glasses.
Yes. I pitched 2 blue light glasses this week.
I just like a vibe, so I always light my candle, and there's a candle brand that I absolutely love that like I only burn their candles in my office. I think even things like, and I don't use this, but like things like a meal prep service even.
Oh my gosh, like things that make your life easier. So I was thinking about that too. Like there are like subscriptions are becoming really big. Like I would love a subscription of like really good coffee beans that like, that's why I want to get up in the morning. Cause like I've learned that I have to like treat myself for work. I'm like, you can only have this kind of coffee right before work. So that way it kind of like gets you in coffee mood.
I talked about that last week on my story. Funny enough, I was like, my coffee is such a part of my like morning ritual, and not in the sense that like I sit at my table and I look at my yard and I drink my coffee. No, it's like I talk about this with my health coach. Like I will spend calories on my coffee because my coffee is what kickstarts my day. So I don't care if my coffee is 300 calories. Like I need my coffee.
Agreed. Oh my gosh. I'm like, no, like liquid calories doesn't make sense to me. I'll be very honest.
They don't count. They're fake. And I know that they're not fake and they do really count, but like the 4 high noons I had on Saturday night would beg to differ.
Doesn't count. If I'm happy while consuming calories, they don't count.
I love that mindset.
That's just how it works for me. Let's think of more entrepreneur. I think like ring lights.
Oh, you know what's a good one? An out of the box one that I recently learned was a write-off? Nuuly.
Yes, subscription.
So your clothing. So let's talk about that for a second. I have been working on shifting my mindset of writing off my life, which is a whole nother topic. But my mentor was like, do you write off your Newly? And I was like, no, I never even thought about that. What helps you feel good about going to work, about being on Zoom calls, about showing up on Instagram? A cute AF outfit.
Yes.
And so Newly helps with that.
Mhm.
And I think the key here really is what we're getting at is thinking outside of the box, right? We've talked about food subscriptions. We've talked about clothing subscriptions now. Things that are going to make you feel good about getting up to go to work every morning. Because so many of us, and I see this conversation a lot lately, are, because we've been in our businesses so long, are starting to feel like this kind of loneliness because we, like, yes, you talk to people on Zoom all day, but like, it's
Do I
just
leave
not
my
the
house?
same, right? It's not the same as like going to the kitchen in your office and like kikiing over a cup of coffee.
Water cooler talk. It's just not, yeah, that's
It's
like
just
something
not the
that's
same.
normal.
And so those little things that can bring you joy, whether it be your outfit or your morning coffee or maybe doing your makeup in the morning, whatever that looks like.
Yep, your skincare, so that way you can just like show up and not feel like you have to go the camera off. Absolutely.
Yep. Even
All
like
of
a
that.
makeup subscription.
I'm not kidding. So something that set my brain whenever I was thinking write-offs. Now I'm going to say this. Let's please take it with Chloe is not a professional money person, okay? But I pretty much think of it as if it's a big purchase and it is something that I have to do. Like, I mean, I get it. We can all just show up how we show up, but let's be realistic. We're very realistic. If it's something that I have to do in order to show up the way I'm going to show up, then I can write that off. So if it's
Yes.
I have to go get like dermaplaned because my skin is breaking out, that's a write off. If I have to go spend money on $100, like $120 shampoo, by the way, your girl's looking for shampoo Rex because I can't spend $120 on shampoo anymore. But that's a write off, you know?
Your hair, your nails, write offs. And I know some accountants listening to this might be like, but
That's why we'll have, guys, we promise at some point we will
here's
have
the deal. Let's put it this way. This is how an accountant put it to me once.
Mhm.
Beyonce will write off her hair because she's performing in front of people.
And that shit's insured.
You can apply that logic to creating video content.
If that's
Because
literally
you
how
are
make
showing
it.
up and it is absolutely a type of performance. Think about how many days you are like, fuck this shit, I don't want to make a video, and you do anyway. That is putting on a performance. Think about some of the biggest influencers on TikTok. Michaela Noguera can spend $2,000 on a makeup order because
Yeah.
that whole thing is a write-off.
Absolutely.
Every item of clothing, she's a big Pink Lily fan. If you watch her content regularly, like, you can tell that. And she will do a video of like, this is what I'm wearing today. That's a write-off. If you're a fan of Christy Howard, Queen of Getting Banned, she's an Amazon whore.
Yes.
She's an Amazon whore. Every
Yeah.
single item in there is a write-off. Why? All of her
They made a video.
and
There was
all
a
of her
video
hauls.
about it.
It's
Yep.
all write-offs.
Yep. It's insane. We really need to have a bookkeeper on at some point so we can actually
Fact
give
check us a
moneymaker.
little bit, but like from what I have discussed with accountants,
Yeah.
I have talked to quite a few, like those things will count.
Be surprised. Guys, let's be honest. We're all little people. I don't know if the IRS is going to come after all
If
of us.
Donald Trump can do it, I can do it.
That is literally in my life. I'm like, well, listen, if the president of the United States at one point could do that and get away with it, I think I'm fine.
No one's watching me.
You ready to talk about the other bucket, which is a little bit more fun?
Yeah.
Literally the fun stuff. The fun stuff. So I'm thinking, like, you mentioned candles. I would honestly put candles in this because it's a little bit more less businessy. But I mean, you know us. We can spin anything.
No, but I also
So-
like lighting my candle. I was telling Chloe this right before we recorded. I lit my candle, and I think it's PTSD from working at SoulCycle for so long because you had to like one of the things that you would do when you went to set up in the morning for your 5:30 a.m. shift, like you had to light the candle, and the candle was always lit when class was in session.
Yes.
And so like for me, it's almost like a comfort thing that like I'm working, classes in session, the candle is lit.
My brain defogs the minute like incense are burning. It goes,
In
oh,
my
that's-
old office, I used to burn incense all the time. And now I just do candles because I think these candles are so cute and aesthetic and I love them and they were $6 at TJ Maxx.
Ooh, sexy. You know I love a good price. Emma, I just thought of the most ultimate collab that we could ever have in our entire lives.
Oh my God, hit me.
Lighters. We need right hand glam lighters. If we come out with merch ever again and there's not a right hand glam lighter, or the shirt or something doesn't have a lighter on it, we're doing a disservice. We're doing a disservice.
Chloe's motto is wake, bake, and caffeinate before she goes to work. So it checks out. You know, that is part of her wellness routine for work.
And it's literally like, we're literally, Emma half the time is like this.
Yeah, I'm not doing it right now, but a lot of the time when I'm on a call, I do have a lighter in my hand and I'm just fiddling with it. So
that right there is like brand.
If you buy a fidget toy, right? Like technically that could be a write-off for you because like if you're on it during your call, like but this is just my version of a fidget toy. I always play with a lighter.
But that could be a really good collab as well. You're literally holding it in the middle of meetings. You're holding it while you're recording things. You can easily hold that in your hand while, you know, recording your stories for the day, blah, blah, blah. Not everything, like when you're thinking collabs, it doesn't always have to be, hi, this is my pen and I like this pen.
And most of the time it isn't anymore. Like I know people hate her and hate this product, but like Tara from Tara's World loves Bloom. She's one of the Bloom bitches. And Bloom just got into Target. So she was like having a conversation with her dad in Target. And she was like, oh, like we're grabbing Bloom while we're here. Like they just got in Target. I'm so excited for them. And then her dad was like, yo, like I'm on it too. Like I freaking love Bloom. And he was like, I snorted it once. And like people thought that was so funny.
Yes.
And, like, that's an ad for Bloom. But like she did it so low key. It was like, oh, we're just walking through Target. Oh, wait, let me grab my Bloom while we're here.
I'm telling you, if you think about the things that seamlessly fit into your life already, my biggest thing has always been, if you're thinking about what you want to do with the collab, honest to God, sit up, look the fuck around, and go, oh, I like these. I like this brand. This is a brand like I use all the time. Oh, well, I love these cups. Pitch the cup. I like this, you know, oh, I really need an updated tripod. Pitch tripods. You never know.
Yep.
It's stuff that you use every day.
Yep.
Ugh.
Can't agree more.
I just think it's time for us. I think we're all kind of in the point now, like I've been seeing a lot of talk of like, well, people are buying, but they aren't, but they are, but they aren't. I'm like, guys, it's time to diversify these portfolios. It is time like to be pulling in money from every, like, you know, little places that you can. And this is one of the, I feel like it's going to start being one of those places that people trust what you're talking about. If they're trusting you enough to be your client, they will trust your recommendation for things. Like a social media manager, you could be sponsored by a certain tripod and ring light, and then that you say, hi, tripod ring light brand, I will be suggesting your brand to all of my clients.
Yep.
Or I will require them to buy your brand.
And
Not, you know,
going back to us with ClickUp, we are, with our new offer, we are going to be requiring that people have ClickUp because we're going to be doing custom builds in ClickUp.
yes. I think that this is a new way to kind of look at a new money source. And if you're really interested, like, this is something that we do. Like, I always hate to be like, oh, we're pitching ourselves, but it's like, no.
First of all, it's our podcast.
We know how to pitch. It's just like, you know, again, it's one of those things like, it's so hard to do for yourself what we do for others sometimes. So I'm like, no, because again, like you said, you're in it every day. We are in our lives first person every single day. It's hard to take a step back and say, well, what can I pitch for myself? What can I blah, blah, blah. Not everybody has time to sit down with their bestie and just do, you know, brainstorming like we do. So I hope that, you know, we pulled back the curtain enough to be like, oh, I see, I see a little bit of the right hand glam brain. I'm in there a little bit, you know.
And let's talk about, why don't we talk about what we do for our clients? Because this has been kind of like a newer thing. I would say we've been doing this for probably like 3, maybe 4 months now. And it's been a huge hit. And so what we do is we solely work with some people on podcasts, UGC, partnerships, sponsorships. And we will go out, and not only do we find the brands, but if they're podcasts, we will submit the forms for you to take that off your plate. If it is UGC, because most of our clients who do UGC do already have a pitch letter, we will go into their email and send out those pitch letters. Or if they just need someone to hold them accountable, we'll remind them every day to make sure that they send out their pitches. We will follow up with those brands on Instagram and those podcasts on Instagram and say, hey, I submitted. I just wanted to check in, see if there's anybody I can follow up with. We can write the pitches if they don't have them yet. We're happy to help do that. Because we have people on the team that are pros at doing that. And also we have ChatGPT to help do that.
Oh my gosh.
And
we're honestly like the queens of using ChatGPT's outline, putting our own spin on it and being like, look at this magic.
Yep. And I want to talk about the podcast thing for a second, because some people are like, well, that's not a monetary ROI.
Whoa!
It's not a direct monetary ROI. It's a chain reaction monetary ROI, because so often, and this has happened to me all the time, people will go listen to a podcast episode that I have been on and then come to me and ask either about working with us or about the Engagement Academy. And that's huge, right? That's the catalyst for the sale. You're reaching a new audience that you did not have access to before. And I know it might seem weird to be like, oh, like you guys are submitting the forms. Like, how do you know? Well, like,
well, explain what a form is, because explain what that means, because I think some people might be like, what?
We don't have a form, right?
Right.
We will just ask people will ask us. A lot of people will have a podcast submission form where you quote unquote apply to be on their podcast, but like I've never gotten rejected. I've been ghosted, but I've never gotten rejected. And most of these podcasts ask the same questions. It's like, give us, 3 to 4 topics that you would be open discussing. Tell us about what you do, like give us your elevator pitch. Sometimes they ask like, what's your favorite episode that you've listened to of ours? So what we do is we will kind of get that information from our client and be like, okay, like what are your points here? And we'll formulate it. And
there are so many times you can take, like, write me a paragraph
literally
on
copy
this.
and paste. We put it into their SOP and we can literally copy and paste. Now, some of you might be like, well, do you go and listen to their podcast episode? I'm going to use this analogy. No, we don't go listen to a podcast episode. When I was in college, I was an anthropology major, which means a lot of reading. Did I ever do the reading? No. My hack was when I got to class, I would be quiet at the beginning and I would listen to what everyone else was saying, and then I would jump into the conversation.
I love you, because I did the same, but with biology. And when I tell you that I was supposed to be a doctor, that's scary.
Yeah. So what I might do is I might like go find the name of an episode.
Yes.
And I might read the description, maybe read some of the notes, maybe go find the post on their page, or maybe scroll, like scroll, whatever you want to call it, and just stop and just see what they're talking about. And then
episode clips. If you post an episode clip, you best believe I'm going to ask you what you're talking about in that episode clip. Like, I'm going to be lazy.
Right. I mean, we're all lazy consumers. I've talked about this enough. I will always talk about this. It's a soapbox I will die on. So you don't have to do that.
Nope. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. Please always start with podcasts that you actually enjoy, because as a listener, you can kind of tell when the vibes are off and you're like, this is the most bland chicken breast episode that I've ever listened to in my life. Don't do that to yourself,
Chicken breast.
You know what I'm talking about. Like, it's like you could have at least put lemon pepper in here. Come on. At least. You're just like, oh, so we're...
But I think, too, you can tell a lot from someone's... This episode has really been all over the place, but I feel like we're covering important ground here.
It really...
Go look at their Instagram pages.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can tell from our Instagram page, and then you see that it's linked to Chloe's page and my page because it says, like, hosted by. Like, you can tell that there's a certain vibe there.
Yeah.
So, I hope
our vibe is
our podcast. But like there are some people's pages I'll go on and I'll be like, this like really isn't my vibe. But then some of them I find I'm like, Oh, like this, like
There's
they
a
have
little
like
bit of
analogies for things, and I'm like, y'all really thought this shit out, and I love it.
love people like that. All right, let's get back on track about what the service is because I think that this is mind blowing. Now, guys, essentially what we've been talking about, we can do for you. Like, if you're
Yes.
thinking all of this sounds like way too hard, or I can't, like, my brain isn't doing what y'all's brain are doing.
Or you just don't have the goddamn time.
The time, like, imagine just like having a certain, like, having it in the back that you know someone is working to pitch brands with you, even if I always want this to be thought about because I think everybody always thinks about like, well, how am I going to make my money back? How la 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 la. If you are pitching to brands that you love, that you truly can soapbox on, you can get an extra 2-3K a month
Yep.
from 2 or 3 brands that you live and breathe and die with. That's all you need. All you need is 1 or 2 month, 3 months, 4 month collabs, which is what I personally love. I'm not into the one-offs. I'm into let's hang together for a couple months so that way I have consistent income. That's consistently an extra couple K in your bank account.
Yep.
And we're right hand glams on
And-
your back doing
And
it for
sometimes you just
you.
need one. Sometimes you just need one. And the same goes for podcast and visibility. I have a client that's taking off the month of June, and I said to her, I would like to spend June like really going. I mean, we're still going to work on booking her for the summer, but I said I really want to focus on visibility because sometimes your organic engagement needs to include that. Because what do we want to do? We do want to take advantage of other people's audiences. We do want to get in front of other people's people who, like, we vibe with. We have a similar,
Yeah.
rock and roll party with. And we've had people on our podcast that's the case. Like, their
Yeah.
people are our people. Like, we would be happy to work with their people. I think they would be happy to work with our people. And so it really is mutually beneficial for you to work together. And like I said, people have come into my DMs because they heard me on someone's podcast.
Yeah. I think we're starting to take this online community that we have and we're starting to be like, I need to see not just your Instagram to be able to
Yes.
work with you. I need to kind of see you in the flesh, but unfortunately, I live on one coast and you live on the other. So how can I bridge this gap of a personal connection while still being a country in the middle of, like, a country apart?
Yeah.
How
And
can
a
we do that?
podcast is a great way to do that. Because also, a lot of the time, if you're on someone else's podcast, well, all of the time, if you're on someone else's podcast, it's not your job to edit it. Like, you show up for an hour and like your work is done. And we don't get the opportunity, I think, unless you wanted to be a YouTube creator, to really have all of that time to talk about those kinds of things. And so now people in 1 hour or so get a lot of you and get a great sense of who you are and what you have to offer versus a short reel where maybe you're not even talking, or
You're-
a TikTok.
You're putting on for that
know?
reel too. Like you're kind of businessy, like you kind of have to, like, let's be honest, as service providers, we're not exactly waking up in bed and being like, hey, good morning. This is my, service today. No, you kind of sit down, you say, okay, get myself ready. I need to talk about my services. It's a little bit more rehearsed. You're putting on for it. This is a way to make them like you want to be a full-fledged person. That is the unique part about what we do. We are not just another cog in the corporate machine. We are actually people with personalities. Use that to your benefit. The best thing about you is your personality. There are millions, not millions, but there are hundreds of thousands of social media managers. There are hundreds of thousands of web designers. There are hundreds and thousands of this and this and this. Your personality is what makes you unique, and that is what you can use to position yourself to not only, your clients and everything, to these brands as well. Don't think about yourself as just, oh, this is what my business title is. Emma and I don't think about ourselves just as, engagement strategists
No,
and blah,
you
blah, blah.
would be shocked at, and we like, hint at this a lot, but like, we have content clients. We have a client that we just do reels for. I have a client that I do content for. Some clients were just like brainstorming with them. We're I do one-on-one mentoring. We have the Engagement Academy. There are so many moving parts of this business. And like, yes, we are the engagement agency, but we do things beyond that.
It's because it all links back together. I mean, I feel like the bet like if we could give any kind of like, oh, well, we know this on this side. I feel like we at Right Hand Glam, especially Emma, has provided this foundation of like, this is what Right Hand Glam is. And I feel like everybody that comes in, they're like, I get what Right Hand Glam is as a culture. They might not know exactly what the fuck we're doing.
Oh my God.
Like,
So many times people are like, what is it the fuck that you do?
but I feel like our culture, like that is something that we have done that I don't know enough businesses are really leaning into yet. But like our person, like you know what Right Hand Glam is.
I've been on such a hot take kick lately, and let me tell you, you want to get good engagement, fucking post a hot take. All of our and it's frustrating to say this because 2 years ago the hot takes that I'm posting would have gotten triple the number of likes, but like right now for a lot of us breaking 100 likes is huge. Almost every post that I've put out the past week, because it's been hot takes, over 100 likes.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's almost as if people like when we have personalities and we're not robots. So guys, moneymakers, get yourself out of these boxes that you've put yourself in. Start thinking outside of it all. And if you think that all of this is too much for your brain, bring us in. This is our favorite thing to give our opinion.
Whether that's working with us in a done for you setting, whether that's working, with us in a one-on-one call setting, we have options to help you get there. And sometimes it's just a mindset shift. And I will do mindset sessions with people where we will just talk through, what are those limiting beliefs? Why are you holding yourself back? How can we rewire that? And then from there, what is the action plan that we are going to implement to get you where you need to be?
Nothing makes me happier than an action plan. I just like, that's like so comforting to hear, like, so you mean I could talk to you for like an hour and then like you tell me the steps afterwards? Thank you.
It's almost like they should get really excited for our new offer because that's going to be part of it.
It's almost like you should just be obsessed with us as much as we are about each other. And I feel like once we get a client though, we are obsessed with them. I'll tell you what, I'm obsessed with all of the clients that are joining this.
We really love our people, and we really, do our very, very best to not just be a team member for them, but to be a cheerleader. There are some clients, I have no clue what goes on in their accounts. I would say most of our clients. I know what goes on in my clients' accounts.
Right.
I'm not
day to day.
there. I'm not logged into the account. I don't know what's going on. But then I'll see a win. Like one of our clients who we do what we're talking about this for was like, oh, this brand actually came through and the collab is going live today. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's amazing. Like, I didn't even know anything about it until I saw it. Yeah. And it's just really fun to pop in and have those conversations with people and make that shit happen and celebrate with them. I think at the end of the day, no matter if you're someone that offers one-off kind of projects or longer retainers, be a cheerleader. Whether that is, in Slack if you're working with them, or like on their Instagram, like slide.
Absolutely.
Check in with them. How are you doing? And of course, be genuine about it, but also remember that is white glove customer service. And that's what brings people back again and again. I have a client who this is the kind of thing that we do. We cheer them on. We make sure that we're, still engaged with them. And they come back again and again and book more projects.
Absolutely.
Also, the amount of people that leave us and come back, whether it's because they thought that they could do it on their own and they were like, actually, no, JK. Or they were like, I just need you guys in my corner and I need that energy again. We have people come back so often. And I truly believe it's because we genuinely care. We genuinely cheer them on and we listen to our people. And if there's an issue, we're going to work our asses off to, shift and fix it and make sure that they are getting the most out of their investment.
I love when you
money
go on
is not something to be fucked with.
I love when you go on a Right Hand Glam community, tangent of I'm just gonna preach on the fact that Right Hand, again, guys, if you haven't listened to last week's episode, we got really mushy.
We did.
We talked about how we built what we build and boundaries and blah blah blah. No, blah blah blah. It's really important stuff.
It is really important stuff.
It's a little emo, so please, I feel like all of that is just
I just love what we do, and I love our team, and I love our clients, and I wouldn't want to be doing anything else
No,
with
I
any
love
other
using my
team.
brain
Like, our team will grow in the very near future because we know things are going to be happening down the line that we need to prep for.
Yeah.
But this team has been intact for quite some time now. And it is the most perfect mix of people, the most perfect mix of personalities. We all balance each other out. And
Yeah.
I mean,
I know. I could gush all
oh,
fucking day. I know. I seriously, like, some of my friends, like, some people are like, oh, you've never? I'm like, no, I've literally just met people, like, a month ago.
I have met Chloe in person once, and she's walking in my wedding. I've met Whitney in person twice, and she's walking in my wedding.
Right? It's the crazy online space. I mean, like, okay, if I could wrap this up with a nice, like, little neat bow, I would say if you are interested in doing what we're doing and you want to try it on your own, think honestly about who you are, what you do every single day. Think about what you already love to talk about and just start making money off of it. Pitch to anything and everything. Don't worry about a no. But if you are worried about a no, let us come in. We have a little, we have more practice under our belt. We know what we're doing in the DMs. You know,
Amen.
we got it all.
Also, don't say you'll do it for free. You're worth more
No.
than that. We all know that.
Even like, guys, even $50. Even $50.
If you're gonna get, like, think about it. If you're gonna get paid $50 to do what you do every day,
Sold.
sold.
An extra $50 a week.
And I like to think about, like, what that translates to, right? Like, what can you do with that $50? Maybe it's date night with your partner. Maybe it's a massage. Maybe it's a mani-pedi. There are so many things that you can do with $50.
Wow.
And if you're struggling with your money mindset about this, like, just think about it like that. Never do it for zero, because what does that get you? But if you're like, is it worth doing this for $50? Maybe if you're a giant account, maybe not. Like, we have a client that has 153,000 followers. I would never advise her to take a sponsorship for $50.
Right. But I feel like
But,
most
like,
of our
for
money
me-
makers.
For me,
Yeah.
I would take $50 because
Right.
that's, half of date night with Luke. That is
Exactly.
a nice little quick trip to TJ Maxx. There's a lot of things that that's half of my newly for the month,
Or even if you simply got, like, if I could get all of my subscriptions that like my ClickUp, like if I could get paid really, really nice ClickUp for free, sold.
Yeah, I'd take that. I would
Done.
take that.
Easily.
We use it
because
every
that's
day.
something that we're already paying for.
Yeah.
That's why, like, you got to think outside the box. Don't limit yourself. Don't tell yourself that, you are the perfect person to talk about what you love because you fucking love it. So
Amen.
that's who you should be pitching to. That's who you should be thinking about. And if it's hard, if you're like, Chloe, Emma, absolutely nothing is in the brain, then let's chat. Let's get on the phone, because the minute that we all get going, get this brain a firing. Uh-oh, moneymaker. Uh-oh.
Amen. Amen.
All right, money makers. I think that's going to wrap up. Not only I think my brain needs a little break. So I think
My brain needs to get to work before I have therapy.
I don't want to. No, I'm just kidding. I love my job. I love working. Thank you, money makers. Check us on Wednesdays for live episodes. Another episode, full length on Fridays. You know where we're at. Yes, I Make Money, Right Hand Glam, On the Go with Chloe, all of those things. Join us, be with us, love us. We'll love you back. You know the drill. Thank you.
Amen to that. Have a great weekend, everybody.